Imagine a future where the cars we drive are not just vehicles, but extensions of our digital lives. They take us to work, alert us about traffic, and even choose the best playlist for our mood. Now, imagine these cars, packed with technology and promises of a sustainable future, also hiding risks we haven't even considered. This is the scenario Chinese electric cars are bringing to the world. Are they the future of mobility or a danger on wheels? Let's dive deep into this question. In recent years, Chinese electric cars have gained global prominence. Brands like BYD, NIO, and XPeng are rapidly expanding their markets, offering competitively priced vehicles with advanced technology. However, behind this automotive revolution lies a series of controversies and challenges that need to be addressed. From safety concerns to labor scandals, the rise of Chinese EVs is not just a story of innovation, but also of complexities and risks. Let's start with safety, one of the most critical aspects when it comes to electric cars. In 2023, China recorded an average of 8 fires per day involving electric cars, a 32% increase from the previous year. These incidents have raised serious doubts about battery durability and the effectiveness of monitoring systems. Imagine driving peacefully, and suddenly your car bursts into flames. It's a terrifying scenario, isn't it? The Chinese government has established strict regulations requiring batteries to withstand collisions at 50 kilometers per hour without catching fire for at least 30 minutes. However, not all manufacturers meet these standards, casting doubt on the reliability of these vehicles. But the risks don't stop there. With the growing connectivity of electric cars comes a new concern: cybersecurity. These vehicles rely on software for navigation, autonomous driving, and safety features, making them vulnerable to cyber attacks. Some experts warn that the Chinese government could use these cars as tools for espionage, collecting sensitive driver data, or, even worse, remotely taking control of the vehicles. Imagine a scenario where your car is hacked and rerouted to an unknown location. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it's a real possibility being discussed by governments and security experts. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, a labor scandal involving BYD, one of China's largest electric car manufacturers, grabbed international attention. In December 2024, labor inspectors in Brazil rescued 163 Chinese workers from a BYD construction site. They were found living in poor conditions, working grueling hours, and some even had their passports confiscated. This situation, likened by many to modern-day slavery, raised serious questions about the labor practices of Chinese companies operating abroad. As consumers, it's essential to reflect on the human cost behind the products we buy. Does the convenience of an affordable electric car justify the exploitation of workers? Another intriguing phenomenon is the so-called electric car graveyards. In various parts of China, fields are filled with abandoned EVs, many of them nearly new. These vehicles are largely the result of the collapse of car-sharing and ride-hailing companies that went bankrupt after the government reduced subsidies for the electric car industry. These graveyards are a vivid symbol of the challenges the industry faces: overproduction, insufficient demand, and a reckless race for market share. Imagine buying a modern electric car only to find out it could end up in one of these fields within a few years. It's a scenario that makes you think twice before investing in a Chinese vehicle. Overproduction is indeed one of the biggest problems in China's electric car industry. With production capacity far exceeding demand, manufacturers are engaged in a price war, offering aggressive discounts to clear their inventories. While this might seem like a win for consumers, it has long-term consequences. The flood of cheap Chinese EVs in international markets is raising concerns among local governments, which fear the impact on their own automotive industries. As a result, countries like the United States, the European Union, and Canada have imposed heavy tariffs on Chinese electric cars, driving up costs for consumers and hindering the expansion of Chinese brands. In addition to tariffs, there's growing concern over the security of data collected by these vehicles. Governments around the world are considering measures to protect their citizens' information. In the United Kingdom, for instance, proposals have been made to require electric car companies to store data locally without transferring it to overseas servers. This is a direct response to fears that drivers' data could be accessed by foreign governments, raising questions about privacy and national sovereignty. Despite these challenges, Chinese automakers continue to expand their global operations. BYD, for example, is heavily investing in markets like Europe and Brazil, aiming to consolidate its international presence. However, this expansion is not without obstacles. Alongside tariff and regulatory barriers, Chinese companies must contend with consumer distrust and competition from established brands. The question remains, can Chinese electric cars overcome these barriers and establish themselves as a viable and reliable option in the global market? Meanwhile, consumers face a tough choice. On one hand, Chinese electric cars offer advanced technology and attractive prices. On the other, there are legitimate concerns about safety, ethics, and sustainability. How can we balance the desire for innovation and affordability with the need to protect our privacy, security, and ethical values? This is a question with no easy answer, but it's crucial for the future of mobility. In the end, the rise of Chinese electric cars is a complex phenomenon filled with both promise and peril. They represent significant technological progress, but also highlight important issues that need to be addressed. As a society, we must be aware of these challenges and make informed decisions about the future we want to create. So what do you think? Are Chinese electric cars the future of mobility or a risk we should avoid? The answer may not be simple, but the discussion is certainly necessary.